And I think one of the most interesting lines that you said in that song, that you remember my face when you said it, is the fact that you shouted out not only the people that lost a loved one, but also lost a loved one that's still living.
Yeah.
So kind of go into that and what you meant by that, because when I heard that, I could just think of like a couple of friends that just didn't have that experience. Maybe were missing that love in their life, or even just like close family members just through like certain experiences.
Yeah, so to quote Nipsey Hussle, who I have my own unique experience with that happened that same year, he passed away April 2019. But in Victory Lap, he says, "Circle got smaller, everybody can't go." Right? So, imagine our life is a book, right? Not every character is meant to be in every chapter, but because you share so much time, space, energy, and history, you'll grieve things that you lose. You can grieve so many different things. And that's, again, one of these things that I learned within, being involved with Psyches of Color and Exert Your Voice and, things like that, because like grieving's not linear. It's an up and down thing, but then you can grieve a variety of things. And so that was something that I wanted to make sure I touched on, because through that process, I learned just how much people do grieve the living. There's people that have strained or severed relationships with their mom, their dad, family ties, hood politics,
Shush.
there's a lot of things like that exist. So I felt like, even though it's one line, I felt like that would resonate with a lot of people, because I know people deal with it. And like you said, sometimes you grow up with, certain groups of friends, and then sometimes relationships change, and sometimes it don't even be anything that happens. It's just, you just magically grow apart. You know what I mean? But you can still kind of feel a way about not being as close as you were before as well. And in other cases, it's extreme. There's some type of fight or fallout.
Right.
People not seeing things eye to eye, somebody doing something against somebody else, somebody harming someone else, and it changes and alters the entire dynamic. And then the problem is, in a lot of relationships, there's no healing with no accountability.
That is facts.
So, you can still grieve, because it's like, man, like, this person made me upset or hurt me in this way or pissed me the heck off. And we can't even have a talk about it because they refuse to take accountability. So now that angers you, but you're also grieving because you wish you were still connected with that person in the way you were before. And in some cases, humans are hard-headed by design.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like you said, it could apply to a father figure, a mother figure, a relationship, a friend. A lot of the times when that happens, it could be the process of like the word, especially I feel like now that the word toxic is very trendy. But if you ever been through a toxic relationship, whether it be through a family member, whether it be through a relationship or a friend, like most of the time what you're grieving is those happy memories where you had those moments and you're just like, wow, I wish like those moments lasted a little longer. Mm-hmm. And you're also grieving the idea of what you wanted them to be, but they never got to become that. And sometimes a lot of people stay in those toxic relationships or don't distance themselves because they fall within the illusion of what someone might become or what someone is, but it's completely delusional because those ugly moments or those toxic moments are them showing their true self and taking that mask off.
Yeah, word, because it's definitely a mask. And what most people don't come to realize is there's always like 3 versions of yourself and who you really are. There's like who you really are, who people think you are,
right,
and who you think you are.
And I remember us mentioning that in the last episode too. So I think that definitely applies to this. And it's funny because every time we have a new episode, a lot of the things that we're talking about, a lot of the gems that we're spilling they interlink.
No, that's facts. You about to get a whole gem necklace pretty soon, yo.
Yeah, they create a whole link of gems.
Yeah. Only built for Cuban links. Shout out to Raekwon and them.
Yeah, and so like just thinking about it, and I can just even think of like some of the friends that I distanced myself from, that I'm like, yo, man, we were boys back in the day, but you know, you didn't change your ways, or you just got stuck in a mindset that I had to grow, and you weren't trying to do that. So like I had to distance myself. Like, but you know, we see each other, you know, we're still boys from the day, but like the relationship's still not the same. And you know, you kind of grieve that at the same time, because you're just like, man, like I wish we were cool, but I know if like we would still be cool till this day, like it would be different.
Yeah, and people grow, and their vision of what they want out of life changes. And you know, I had mentors say that to me when I was a teenager and stuff. And at the time, you don't really believe them because you think you know everything, and then reality sets in. Oops, my bad. Reality sets in, and you know, things change. You know, and again, the thing is, like, I look at it like this: like the love don't change. Like the love isn't altered. It's like, I can have love for a lot of people, even the people that I've lost.
Yeah,
their spirit is still with us. So
yeah,
you know, one of the quotes in this quote book that I'm looking to drop probably in a couple of weeks, you know, one of the things I wrote was, you know, energy never dies, it plants seeds and multiplies.
Woo.
You know? And I mentioned that, and I alluded to the quote a little bit differently in the song, but you know, I wrote that and just thinking about you know, losing Kobe, losing my mom, losing Nipsey, and different people. And it's like, nah, it's true, because, you know, that spirit, that's energy, it lives on. And so that's another thing that really helped with my grieving process, because sometimes I would just be, you know, really in my feelings, seeing things that reminded me of my mom. And I'll never forget it. This one day, I heard this song. Who was that by? The Spinners. I'll Be There. I'll Be Around, sorry. And that song was playing, and I felt myself having an emotional moment. I was like, damn,
the power of music.
Yo, the power of music, right? But then I caught myself, and I was like, yo, why are you sad? That music is a positive trigger of a positive memory, because when I was caretaking for my mom for those years, I would often try to make her day better by any means necessary. And everyone knows I crack jokes and act silly all day, like those I'm closest with. So
like the line, not you.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was mad funny. So there's that song triggered a memory, because sometimes I would just, you know, run in her room singing songs. I'd be playing them. I'd get her to dance with me and stuff like that. And that was one of those songs. So although I got emotional for a moment, I was like, nah, you're being triggered. But when these things randomly happen, when I hear songs like that randomly places, or I see certain objects or things that I have, that's her reaching out to me, reminding me she's still with me. So I should be smiling. It's a positive memory. What am I sad for? You know what I mean? So again, that's not to say people shouldn't be sad, but to me, for me, sad is selfishness, because the mind and the body wants what it wants. It wants to have people and just be happy forever. But the fact of the matter is, we're all gonna go at some point.